Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of February. I hope you will. Just like to say thank you to everyone who's stuck around. I appreciate you waiting for me. I realised that I was gone a little longer than I said I would be, but frankly, after Christmas, I realised how exhausted I was and I had to take a little bit of extra time. I had a lot of things going on that required my attention, so I had to deal with those, but I am back now, so thank you for waiting. It is appreciated. If you are interested in a 2021 overview, or at least for the first 6 months, January to June, that is now available on Vimeo, and there will be an extended after this, which is also on Vimeo. Of course, if you are supporting me on Patreon, you get access to those for free at the higher, well, for free, on the higher tier anyway. So if any of those sound interesting to you, you know where to go and find those. Right, we're using the Llewellyn Tarot today. It's the one that jumped out, wanted to be used. So let's have a look and see what is going on with Cancer. Can I have 3 cards for Cancer, please? There's the first one, Queen of Wands in your recent past. I like that. I like that for you very much. Let's do it flipped over. And current energy, please. Ooh. 5 of Wands in reverse, that's fantastic. And what's coming towards Cancer, please? That's really interesting. So the card that just flipped over in the deck there was the Sun, and the one that actually jumped was the 9 of Cups. A very similar sort of, message running along parallel lines, at least. Anyway, we have the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, but I noticed that it's immediately followed by Temperance, and I really, really like that for you. So the major arcana, such as it is just sitting behind there. Right? The Temperance card talks about healing. It talks about restoration of balance, taking that time after things have been hard, and that is literally what the 10 of Wands indicates there. You know, to kind of pull yourself in back together, get your emotions in check, all that sort of thing. But this all looks really, really good. Let's have a look at some clarifiers and see what we've got going on here. So where's the Queen of Wands here for Cancer, please? Ooh. Ooh, that's quite sassy. I like that. What about the 5 of Wands? Ooh. Ooh, 5 of Swords in reverse. And I knew you were coming out. I actually felt it really, really strongly as I picked this deck up. That's the Chariot, by the way, which is the card of Cancer in the major arcana, right? Ooh, I'm getting really excited about this before I've even started. The interpretation, tell me about the 9 of Cups, please. We have the 6 of Swords. Ooh. And the Knight of Cups. This is wonderful. We have the Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck here. It's a lot of cup presentation energy, but there's a bit of everything here, which I really like. The only thing that we don't have, oh, there you are underneath the page as well. The only thing that we don't have is Pentacles, and I don't think that that's actually that important to you at the moment, right? So the card that we've got in the recent past is the Queen of Wands. Now that is strictly Aries energy, but it's the feminine fire element, right? Expression of that energy. And she is bold and she is confident. She's quite sassy, and I'm going to show you why her sassiness has been extrapolated up by the cards that have come out underneath it. She knows what she wants. She knows how to get it. Now, she's quite different from the Queen of Cups, right? The Queen of Cups is water of water, right? She's extremely receptive. It's all about things coming to her. This Queen is a bit more about going after what it is that she wants, right? Of all the queens, she's the one that strikes me as the one that stays still the least. If she sees something, she wants it and she goes and gets it. Now, I want to show you the clarifiers that came out first, and then I'll come back to the Queen, because what we've got is the 10 of Swords and then the Empress. Now, this traditionally is you know, doomy card, right? And yeah, to a degree it is. But it talks about truly hitting rock bottom in some way. Now, why would you say that is a good thing? I will tell you. It's because once you've hit rock bottom, you literally can go nowhere else, right? From there, the only way that you can really move is up. right? And almost in a nod to that, we have this character here who has been left for dead on the floor with 10 swords in his back. He's turned towards the dawn, right? It's always darkest before the dawn, but the new day always swings round, right? The 10 of Swords can indicate betrayal, it can indicate humiliation, it can indicate things just the universe kind of kicking you in the teeth, right? I just feel it's like that. But it is a 10. And so principally what it indicates is an end to all of these things. And we bring in the Empress. And the Empress is all about the new. She's about the creation of the new here, right? She's about fertility, she's about abundance, right? She's an incredibly creative card. But she's also very powerful, right? She's the Queen of Queens. She embodies all of the queens in one archetype here. And so what this says to me here is that in your recent past, you've decided, you've kicked your own arse. That's how it feels, actually, right? Things were hard for you for quite a long time. And there were a number of situations that came up. I don't remember the details of them exactly, but a number of situations that came up in the YouTube readings last year where there was shitty behaviour by other people directed towards you, you know, deceit, dishonesty, that sort of thing, and yet you persevered with those situations. You kind of, you know, allowed them to continue, ostensibly because you didn't really know how to get out of them, I think, or you didn't want to get out of them. You just wanted them to be good. You wanted them to be fixed, you know, that sort of thing. The presence of the Queen of Wands here suggests a complete about face on this one, you know, a true volte-face, because she is not sitting around waiting for life to happen to her. It seems to me like with the Queen of Wands and the Empress here, you made the decision that you weren't going to sit down here, right? You were going to actively change your life in one way or another. And, you know, for some of you, this could be to do with your business. Something like that, and you know, maybe things have been hard and you're actually like, what this needs is a fresh pair of eyes. I need to reinvigorate what my business is, what it stands for. I need to adapt, improvise and overcome, you know, that sort of thing, and inject some relevance into it. Now, might make it work with what is going on, you know, the regulations and the you know, all the things that we have to adhere to. Now, it could be there, but it could be relationships. It could also just be the way that you're showing up in the world altogether, right? I'm not going to sit around and wait for things to happen. I am now taking charge of what I want from my life, and I am going to bring new things in. Now, there you are, look, Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. One more card for this Empress, please. Hierophant. You're building, Cancer. There's the Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Beautiful, right? There's real determination here that I'm feeling, and I love this because in your current energy we have the Five of Wands, but it is in the reverse, and I'll explain the relevance of that in a second. We have the Five of Swords also in the reverse. I'll come back to that too. And then we have you. We have a pure expression of Cancer energy arriving on the table, right? So the first thing to understand about any card that is numbered 5 is that it is inherently unstable, certainly in the minor arcana anyway, right? They indicate a shift of energy in some way. Aquarian Insight, who used to be on YouTube, unfortunately isn't anymore, used to refer to 5 energy cards as agents of chaos, right? And it's a really, really good description. It's absolutely bang on. All that Aquarian Insight and stuff, right? She absolutely nailed it. 4 is very foundational energy. When the 5 comes along, it kind of blows it up. Now, it's not just for shits and giggles, there's purpose to it. It allows you to, you know, remove the things that are not working from the foundation, whether they be people or situations or attitudes, you know, that sort of thing. And they allow you to refine and hone, right? Learning the whole time along the way. Now, to my mind, and this is something that I've decided through my reading of cards, if you've got an inherently unstable card, the most stabilizing thing that you can do to that energy is to have it come out that way around, right? Where it is, by its nature, unstable, it is now stable. And the 5 of Wands is all about conflict. Sometimes it can be about competition, and sometimes it can be about petty squabbling, but sometimes it can indicate something much, much bigger than that. And it can be with other people, or it can be within yourself. And more often than not, when it appears on my table, it's talking about internal conflict, about one thing or another, right? And this could be about all sorts of things. It could be internal conflict about what to do about a partner, a business, any of those things, right? Or it could well be you fighting with bits of yourself, right? That's true too. When the shadow kind of rears up and tries to make you do a thing, and your conscious mind is just like, there's that conflict, there's that friction, right? But this is gaining peace. You know, where things were conflicted, now they are not, right? There's a distillation of events and experience and all these sorts of things coming down into decisiveness, stability, internal decisiveness and stability. And then we've got the Five of Swords. Now this way around, the whole sword suit is about communication, right? Whether internally or externally expressed. So by that I mean, if it's internally expressed, it's literally the conversations that you have with yourself in your mind, right? It is your thoughts, it's your thought patterns. And externally expressed is how you express yourself to other people and how they express themselves to you. So as an external expression, this could be falling out with people, right? This could be people ghosting you, or you ghosting other people, that sort of thing, right? Cutting the lines of communication. Where you were talking, now you're not. Where you were talking, now you are, and maybe you're not terribly comfortable about that. Or maybe you're having arguments with someone and they just say whatever it takes to win, you know, whichever way around it is. Now, the fact that the internal conflict, and it does feel internal to me, is the thing rather than external. It would lead me then to think that this is an internal state too. There's something about your cognitive patterns that you have recognized, and you are determined to break them, right? To the degree that I think that you are actively in the process at the moment, right? It takes a little bit of objectivity. You have to kind of detach yourself from your thoughts, and that's a really good thing just to throw in there anyway. You are not your thoughts. And when you consider the fact that you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions, and you can observe them, game changer, right? Next level stuff. That feels like it's where you are, Cancer. Because you've realised that some of your cognitive processes really have been a bit wonky, right? In so much as it's quite likely been your shadow that has been, you know, keeping you in a loop, repeating patterns, doing the same thing over and over again, almost without your conscious processes being involved sometimes. And you do things and you've got no idea why. You do something and you kick yourself later because you're like, I always said I wasn't going to do that thing again. Why did I just do that thing? It seemed like such a good idea at the time. It's because you weren't thinking about it. Your shadow was acting, right, on your behalf. Now, with the Chariot card here, like, I could not be more delighted, because this is another card that speaks of balance, right? Balance, and therefore, as a corollary, stability. Yeah, things that we're seeing here. The Chariot card is one of those cards that and I guess actually you could see it with the tarot in all sorts of ways, all sorts of cards. It has a number of fairly straightforward, fairly simple meanings, and then it has a whole other set of levels besides, right? How deep do you want to go with the meanings of the cards? So the Chariot is a pretty deep card. It speaks about duality consciousness. Quite often we have these two polarities here indicated by the sphinxes, and then we have a point of integration between the two. Right, the charioteer, your consciousness. He's controlling those sphinxes, right? All the bits of himself, and he needs to keep them in alignment, because if even one of them is just a little bit off, that chariot's not going in a straight line. It's not going forwards to victory, right? The determination is thwarted in some way. But he's doing it without reins. He's doing it with the power of his own mind, right? This is mental discipline. Motivation, perhaps, but I mean, Motivation is the thing that gets you to a point where then you have the discipline about it, right? So we've got an alignment going on here, using only the power of your own mind. I often see it indicating shadow work, you know, because the end point of shadow work, or the goal, is integration. And where you have alignment between this, you know, these three figures here, then you have integration, all running through the consciousness, the charioteer. But the chariot also governs the self. It is about will, it is about discipline, it's about autonomy, it's about knowing who you are. And it's wonderful that it should show up here for you with all of these, with all of this work and all of this peace being here for you. And it's not, like I said, it's not just come around by accident. Like, this is something that you have actively encouraged. Tell me about the chariot, please. Tell me about the chariot, thank you. Oh, Cancer, this is powerful. Chariot. Yeah, you are done. Either watching the world go by without you or struggling. You're just done struggling. I think to a degree, some of you Cancers have really come to the conclusion that although things are difficult around you and there is lots of challenging stuff around you, a lot of the time it has been you who has been standing in your own way, right? And that's been almost like a lightning bolt. You're like, holy shit, right? I can do something about this. I might not be able to do something about all of these things out here, but I can certainly get myself out of my own way. And then that is at least, you know, taking off concrete boots. Then I can move around, I can do stuff. Because we've got here the Fool, and we've got the Four of Cups, and we have also here the Page of Pentacles. This is an understanding of what is important. And for you, given that we have feelings of peace coming on here, you know, a reduction in conflict, internal conflict, and then a card that absolutely, you know, plants itself in a very dominant position in the middle of the reading, talking about the self. It strikes me that you are starting to get to know yourself, Cancer, on a level that you did not know before. Right? Just like the Chariot card, there are kind of some basic obvious things about you that you know, and maybe some close friends know, but there are so many more levels to you, so many more layers, and you're exploring them now. And as you start to explore these deeper layers of you, or maybe these higher levels, you know, however it appears in your mind that you were traversing this terrain. So a lot of the things that were causing conflict, a lot of the cognitive loops that you were stuck in, they're just sort of melting away because you see them for what they are. This is profound, Cancer. I love this for you. And now you're getting ready to walk a new path, which is absolutely extraordinary. Now, what we've got coming towards you doesn't feel like an event or a person or anything like that, because we've got this Nine of Cups. Now, as I read the cards, the nines for me are all about the individual, right? Tens are about the collective, possibly. Yeah, collective. The nines are about the individual. They're all about you. And being the Cups, we are talking now about emotions. So this card is sometimes called the Wish card. You know, it's about all of the good things coming towards you. But the thing is, like so many things, there are layers to this, right? First off being an understanding that you and you alone are responsible for your emotional well-being. Further, that other people are responsible for their emotional well-being. Now, as a Cancer, you have somewhat of a predisposition towards being of service, right? But often it's coming from a slightly fractured place, because the being of service is trying to stake your validation through someone else, right? I'm going to be of service. I'm going to look after this person. I'm going to love them. I'm going to smother them with all the love they could possibly need. And then, you know, when I make them happy, I will have worth. I will be valid. It's a really interesting kind of swerve around what is the central tenet of this, which is responsibility, right? Nobody has a responsibility to make you happy. And if you are looking to someone else to make you happy, whether it is through slavish servitude to them or just a hope that they'll look after you as well as you look after them, right, you're going to be disappointed, thoroughly disappointed, because it all has to emanate in you. Now, the fact that this is here says to me that this is something that you understand, or at least begin to truly get an understanding of in the month of February. This is huge. It's absolutely massive. This is game-changing energy too. And it's clarified here by the Six of Swords and the Knight of Cups. Now, the Six of Swords is at leaving something behind. But we've got movement in both of these cards, just as we've got an incredible amount of movement down here too, right? So it could be that this is literally talking about an event that you have been emotionally tied to in some way or another. This is you coming to the point in February where you realize that you are not only worth more than this, but you will never actually get what it is that you're looking for from this relationship because you were looking in the wrong places. Right? It's all about you. It's all about your internal space. It's all about adjusting your perspective to the world, right? So what we have is the potential of you leaving something else, so leaving a relationship behind, leaving a situation behind, putting yourself first. Cancer, almost an alien concept to you, right? But like I said, it seems like your motivations for putting other people first are the things that you're really starting to explore. So we have some movement here. We have some movement away from 5 energy strictly. And this is the Six of Swords. You're moving to a safe distance away from it. And it doesn't have to be you leaving a relationship behind. It can be literally you closing the door on this time of your life, a time where you were conflicted, a time where your thought processes were all a bit, sideways and stuff. And a movement into something much more aligned, much more pure, right? The Knight of Cups is all about how you show up in the world, how you offer your cup to other people, how you receive the cup from them, right? It is about a pure expression of emotion. And what it feels like to me is that you're really starting to get a handle on your own inner space, right? Putting your happiness first, which is where it should be. And I'm not talking about being selfish. I'm talking about filling your own cup. I'm talking about attending to your own needs so that you do not put the unrealistic expectation out there that other people will be able to fulfill those needs for you, because the reality is that that's not how these things work, right? It's about a journey of healing. It's about a journey of self-discovery, and where there are gaps in you that you've been trying to get other people to come and fill for you for such a very long time, which has just led to a succession of truly emotionally unfulfilling relationships for you that have exhausted you and left you in a state of bewilderment often. It's like the penny's dropped. I get it now. I understand. Cancer, this is magnificent. I love this for you. So I'm going to go over to Vimeo now. I'm going to pull this apart a little bit and see if there's any advice I can give here, or anything to look at. But it really does seem like you have it in hand. So if you're interested in that, come and see. Again, don't forget the 2021 videos are there. If you're interested in that, that's there too. I'm really excited about this. This is amazing stuff. So know that I love you all very much, and I'll see you very soon.